Earlier, we worked on writing, using translating words to write expressions. Now we're going to use translating words to write equations, which means these ones are going to have equal signs. And we're going to use those to help us solve word problems. So what we're going to be doing here is we're going to take the words to the variable. We're going to take the variable to the equation to help us solve. And so example number 1 here says the Colts scored 13 points in a game against the Vikings. They scored 7 points on a touchdown, and the rest of their points came from field goals. How many points did they score on field goals? So it says first it might help you to use words to first model the situation. So we're thinking about what two parts equaled their total score. So I know that their touchdown points plus their field goal points equals their total score. So it's just good to start out by thinking that through a little bit. Our steps below here tell us to circle or highlight important information. So I'm going to come back up and say the Colts scored 13 points. That's their total. They scored 12 points on a touchdown. So that's important. And the rest of their points came from field goals. So from field goals, that's how many points the rest of them came from. So it says, what words tell you to add, subtract, multiply, or divide? Well, we have to think about that for a second. And is kind of sometimes one of those adding words. Touchdowns and their points from field goal are going to equal their total points they scored. What word indicates the equal sign? And this one, it's hard to pick a word that actually intends for us to understand equal, but we know that they earned 13 points total for the game. And so that's kind of what tells us that's going to be our equal to. It's all going to equal their final score, their final points. So to find the variable, what do we not know? Let's look at the question. How many points did they score on field goals? To find the variable, points they scored on field goals. That's what we're trying to figure out. So P equals points they scored on field goals. So write the equation, put the numbers and variables and operations in place of the words above. So for touchdown points, we know they scored 7. Plus, for field goal points, we don't know, so I'm going to put my variable P as points they earned on field goals. And that's going to equal my total score, which I know is 13. Let me scroll down here so you can see this. So 7 plus P equals 13. And P is equal to the points they scored on field goals. So to solve my equation, I'm going to use inverse operations. I'm going to do the opposite of adding 7, which is subtracting 7. And if I do it to one side of the equal sign, I must do it to the other. 7 minus 7 gives me 0 and cancels out, so I can bring my P down. And P equals 13 minus 7 is 6. The last thing I need to do is make sure that I answer the question with a label. So how many points did they score on field goals? 6 points. So my final answer here that I'm going to write is 6 points from my solved equation P equals 6.